the night of her company's party. I had no idea what kind of evening I was walking into. For weeks, Emma had felt miles away, her attention fixed on everything except me. I couldn't shake the feeling that tonight wasn't about celebration, but about her showing off. When I entered the grand ballroom, the soft light of chandeliers shimmered across the polished floor. Laughter filled the air, and at the center of it all stood Emma. She looked stunning, every inch the image of confidence and charm, surrounded by co-workers who seemed captivated by her presence. I smiled faintly, doing my best to blend in, but unease was already tightening in my chest. It didn't take long to figure out why. While standing near the buffet table, Emma began talking about me, or rather, making me the punchline. "Oh, Jake," she laughed. "He's adorable, but his job, well, it's definitely different." Her co-workers chuckled, their smiles stretching as they leaned closer, feeding off her mockery. A flush of heat spread through me, part humiliation, part anger, but I stayed still. I could feel people's eyes flicking toward me, waiting for an outburst, a defensive reaction, something to complete her little show. But I gave her nothing. I simply let the silence swallow her words. Her laughter rang louder, her grin sharpened, but I refused to play along. Calmly, I drew a slow breath and held my composure. The more she spoke, the clearer her arrogance became, and the easier it was to see that she was performing for them, not realizing she was digging her own grave. After a pause, I straightened my jacket and said quietly, "I think I'll step outside for a bit." A few heads turned. Some exchanged puzzled glances. Emma froze mid-laugh, her confidence faltering for the first time. She expected a confrontation, an argument, maybe even a desperate plea for respect. But walking away was all the answer I needed to give. Outside, I stood beneath the cold night air, letting the moment breathe. Behind me, I could hear faint murmurs, her colleagues whispering, curious about my sudden exit. Then my phone buzzed. It was a text from a friend at the party. "Everyone's wondering why you left. What happened?" I smiled to myself. The silence was already speaking for me, louder than any argument ever could. A few minutes later, something unexpected happened. Inside the hall, Emma's boss took the microphone. His steady voice filled the room. "I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge someone who's shown true professionalism and grace tonight, even while being unfairly ridiculed." The chatter stopped. Heads turned. "Jake, Emma's husband might have stepped out," he continued, "but he's a man whose work ethic and integrity speak volumes. Not everyone can say that, and I think he deserves a little recognition." Applause rippled through the crowd. Emma's face drained of color as her co-workers began to whisper apologies, realizing her little joke had just backfired in front of everyone. I stood outside, hearing the clapping through the doors, a faint smirk crossing my face. I hadn't needed to defend myself. She'd done all the damage for me. When I finally walked back inside, I was met not with pity but respect. People approached me, shaking my hand, complimenting my composure and class. Emma lingered at the edge of the room, her confidence gone, her smirk replaced by shame. That night, the lesson couldn't have been clearer. Arrogance can fill a room, but dignity can silence it. Emma thought I'd snap, fight, or beg for approval. Instead, I let stillness do the work. By the time the night ended, everyone who had laughed at her joke understood the truth. I didn't need to raise my voice or make a scene. My quiet exit had said everything. She had tried to mock me. I had simply walked away. And in doing so, I didn't just regain respect. I redefined it.